Hey everyone. So we're here on episode 2 of our dodging and flanking guy. Last episode we played just long enough to pick up dodging and flanking. And I was thinking about this. I think probably the next thing I'll go for will be lorekeeper, which if you followed the last episode, you'll know that in this Marvin PA version of Sil, lets you identify consumables. Reason being is that first of all, I probably just want to take some perception so I'm not always stumbling into traps. Getting shafted, which means falling through a false floor at this stage, is pretty awful. And it's good to know what your consumables are before we get to a place where we might die due to not knowing what we can drink to heal up or whatever. So, we're here at 250. We're doing okay on the clock. Our light is pretty awful. It doesn't quite matter yet. And around 250, I don't think we've met any orc warriors or even orc archers, but we'll probably run into those pretty soon. And at these depths, I think it's possible to run into one of the other orc uniques, whose name is Bulldog, not Bulldog, Bulldog, who's pretty tough and he comes with a huge pack. So I mentioned we hadn't met orc archers or warriors, and we just met them both at once. So here I'm really going to hope that on my next move this warrior doesn't shout, and that archer doesn't see me. So let's see what happens. So now he noticed me in such a way that I can't even flank. So here, this is annoying because I don't think they've seen me yet, but in a couple turns I suspect they'll shout or something. The last turn I took was moving down, so I'm just going to get my charge off on one of these guys, which I missed. He shouted, and the archers noticed me. So what I'm going to do is, if I run into this hallway, the warriors probably won't follow me. They'll probably hover around the mouth. And I can try and go close that door. It's worth, before you go to decide to close the door, checking that it hasn't been broken. This one hasn't. So these guys are going to get some free shots at me, which isn't great. So, if there's this many dudes on this floor already, either I was just unlucky with packs, or there's a guy that has like a pack with him, either an orc captain or one of the uniques. I don't like what's happening down here, so I'm going to go dive into this room and see if I can kill some of these archers. And if I can't, and they're really pissing me off, I'm just going to go to the stairs. So this guy is a likely target because he's going to run towards that north corner, so let's try and get him. And when it comes to archers, it's pretty much not worth flanking that much, just because sometimes they wiggle around. Okay. If Absolute Go is watching this, he'll have something to say about this. This is one of the worst things about fighting near the stairs. So let's see if I can't convince them to leave me alone. And there's a mule up here. So I was lucky that on that last move I didn't get pasted by all these guys around me. But this is a situation where I'm out of here. So let's get out. So that's an example. This may not be 100% true in that particular situation, but if you go back to what we just ran into, if I'd gone into that corridor and just decided to fight it out in that corridor, that could have been really annoying because we just spawned a whole bunch of monsters in that room where the stairs were, and then there were a whole bunch just south of me too. I probably could have gotten out of it, but by taking the fight in the open room, I was able to move people around so they got off the stairs and escaped pretty quickly. I took a risk to do it, but it was worth it. So I'm still scared, and if something comes up the stairs now, that's gonna be awful. Okay. That's handy, I'm gonna take that. Do I have a shield yet? No, so it's totally worth lugging this thing around, I think. Let's go see what's out there. I could have rested up to heal a bit. I might just... I don't know. Oh, darn it. I hit the rest up key. Sure. That battle axe would probably work better with finesse, actually. Let's... No, I'd rather hit things. Where is the greatsword? I forgot elves get a blade affinity, so you get +1 to stabbing dudes. So on my last turn, I moved up, and I could just barrel straight into this orc and get my charge off, but that would remove my flanking bonus. I'm pretty sure there's probably a wall here, so this isn't a great idea, but I'm going to move diagonally, because I'll still charge, even though I missed. Oh, he was sleeping. Flanking won't trigger if they're asleep. I should have checked that out. But let's see if we can make something happen here. But you can see, like there, I got 2 steps, and they were moving around me, but because I was moving in the same direction, I still got a charge. And to be honest, I haven't really studied the rules of how charging and flanking work together. It's just, if you move enough in the same direction, eventually you'll get one off. So this is a marginally better greatsword in terms of criticals for me. So yeah, hitting things right now is not great, but... Ooh. Sweet. So we have this bow. That means I'll be able to ID those arrows. These boots, let's see. Okay. I mean, whatever. It's not really necessary to be stealthy, but it can't hurt. I'm going to keep my existing boots just in case they get acid smashed or something. He doesn't see me yet. Oh, I forgot flanking won't work if I'm attacking a sleeping guy. One of the bad things about this GCU port that I'm playing is that there's no background color for people who are unwary, which I'm still sort of programmed to look for. I just wanted to make sure those birds hadn't seen me. No, I got better gloves than that. Let's get out of the way of these archers. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can avoid those things, it's probably better to do that. And with just this little bit of stealth I have, it's helping. I would like to kill an archer at some point, just to get the experience for it, but I'm sure I'll have plenty of opportunities to do that. So here's a situation where, I think, have they seen me yet? No. So let's keep ignoring them. That is a whole bunch. I'm waiting some turns here just to see if they go away. It's a thief. Let's see if I can wait till he comes into this hall. I don't think thieves yell. Usually they drop better stuff than that. Okay, these guys are totally just like not going away. So archers, as you can see, if you catch them unawares, they're really not that bad. These green worms, though, sorry, the clear ones are pretty bad, because you never know if you've killed them all or not. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't seen somebody shoot an arrow at me. Okay. So far, so good. So this little bit of stealth is making the game a bit different, because normally all those archers would have seen me, and we'd be fighting for our lives right now. Nice. Great. An early digger is always really helpful to have. Oh, there's some clear worms in here. At least we're finding a lot of torches. Ouch. That Enemies who are fast and flee are awful. How big is this level? It's pretty big. So you might want to pay attention to how big the levels you spawn are at this stage in the game, because, I don't know, it's kind of almost not worth it if they're massive to fully explore them. And stuff. So I can't tell if that was an orc that I just ran into, or there's more clear worm messes in here. So again, you can see we're not getting hit that much compared to probably how you would be if you were fighting from corridors. If you're used to using charge, you're probably pretty used to zigging back and forth, or barreling back and forth in this corridor. Whereas with flanking, you can sort of keep things out in the open space and get sort of random charges off on people. I like to kill those spiders as soon as I can, because they often flee to somewhere where you forget, and then they come out and hit you for like 1 billion damage while you're not paying attention. And the other good thing about fighting in the open like this is that a lot of these rooms tend to be lit in the early game, and if you have any kind of throwing weapons, if these things go to flee, which is incredibly annoying, you can whip a spear at them or something and probably kill them awesome. So this, I'm sort of on the fence if this is a good idea at this stage in the game, to wear some really heavy armor. But now that we have dodging and flanking, sprinting is a good pickup for sure. But basically, if we do find some really heavy pieces of armor, what we can do is save on experience by not putting a lot into evasion, and then just bulking up our armor. So I'm going to try that for a while. It does drastically reduce your evasion, so you'll probably get critical hit fairly often for now, but I just want to see how it goes. And it does make us quite a bit noisier too, so right now we're kind of offset by our boots. But the worst thing about the male corselet is that it does have an attack penalty. So far we've been pretty good about avoiding those. But the thing about the attack penalty is it affects everything, even your arrows. Oh wow, nice shot. Okay, so that's pretty good for now. Actually, I might, how close are we? This is what I'm gonna do. I kind of want lorekeeper soon, but I don't know for sure that this equipment that I have and these stats +8/+9 and this armor are really gonna work that well. With flanking, and this is kind of an awkward set of numbers. Everything's sort of mediocre, except my damage. So what I'm going to do is assume I'm going for lorekeeper, but I'm just going to pool the experience. And if I get myself into an altercation where I'm getting whacked all around everywhere, I'll probably spend it on melee or evasion or something, and switch things around. But I'm not dying to traps yet. I don't know if Kerbin could flee. And I didn't know that there were so freaking many of them. What is this? Morgoth must have had a good year or something. So Orc Warriors are a situation where they can, at this stage in the game, with this level of evasion, get a couple of criticals on you if they get a good hit. And with their attack, that's actually no joke, even if you have good armor. So, and without a shield, our armor is actually not that great, even though we're wearing this big, ugly corselet. So. This is just a different symbol in MPA Silver Chest. So this is another case where I might take Perception. Why am I hungry already? Oh, I guess it's been a while. Okay. I'm already running out of space because I've just been hoarding, so I probably don't need that 2.5-pound longsword. Curved sword, I have a long sword, it's almost entirely better. The Gondolin sword I'll stick around with. That short sword, not likely to use it. The axe I might, the boots I might, the helm. Yeah, these are all pretty useful things. So I'm going to spend a few turns just trying to open this chest. It's not working, so I'm going to put a couple points in perception. Try a few more, and it worked. Ow, okay, that was awful. But we actually got something decent out of it, so let's grab that. This is one case where I probably... Damn it. I was hoping to hide behind that rubble before he showed up, but... Fighting one of these things at heavy stun is not something you want to be doing, especially when you step on a caltrop. So... let's get out of the way. We've recovered, more or less. How long is it going to take for the stun to go away? Good. Okay. I wanted to try wielding this helmet, just in case. I don't think... there aren't any sticky curse helmets, I don't think. So this one's either True Sight or Clarity, or there's one that makes you scared when you're wearing it and you get hit. I'm just going to avoid it for now. I'll deal with this later. If I find some clear worms or something, I might put it on just to see what happens. But that's pretty good for that floor. So now we're at 300. How far away are we from Lorekeeper? We'll need another 600 plus 500. So we need another 1100 experience. So I'm just going to keep pulling. One of these herbs is likely to be sustenance, but one of it is likely to be a stat drainer too, so I'm not going to risk looking for a food herb yet. If you can hold on to Lembas, it's good because it helps you restore grace if you get drained. Oh, was that me that got hit for 12? I thought it was him. So annoying. These things are actually really, really good. If you can get a relatively light one that still meets your charge strength. So if there was like a 6-pound Great Spear, you'll probably get a critical out of it. And I think that's like 2d18 or something. It's pretty crazy. It's a lot of wolves. And 300 feet, this is sort of the earliest depth that you might find Easterling archers, which are pretty much the worst thing ever, but... And you can see, like, we're having a hard time hitting stuff just because our melee is so bad. So if you get guys piling up in the corridor like this, you really want to push them out into the open. So you can just basically charge them, and their pack AI will make them hover around the corridor. So Easterling Warriors, oops, I meant to look at that one. This is actually a reasonable build for, oh nice. For fighting these things, they have quite a bit of armor relative to the things we've been fighting so far. So it might seem like you're taking forever, but what you really want with them is to have pretty high damage output, because even if it takes you a few hits, it's better to hit them hard, because once they get down to low HP, they run away. Oh, I thought that was me that just died. It's him. I totally didn't realize which little dude I was. So okay, not bad. That's great. That's a lot. I don't think I've ever had this many torches. So now that we have a shield, oh, do I have enough for this now? Oh no. Which I think this is a shield of protection. I might run around with this longsword for a while. Okay, so now we have pretty good protection for this stage of the game. The only issue is that with this weapon, we're not really getting anything out of charge. So maybe I'll try the battle axe for a while, because it's heavy. It's not even heavy enough. At least we'll get an extra damage side out of it. Let's try this for now. I like axes. Who doesn't? And if we can't hit things, I'll use the longsword until it becomes a problem. So that Gore Crow is something where you definitely want to hit it accurately. Because they can hit to blind. Which actually, what I could have done, if there weren't so many bad guys around, is I could have switched to the special helmet that I'm holding and tried to get it to blind me, because I think True Sight resists blindness. But so I don't like fighting in the open when one of these things is around, just because they hit so hard and they're fast. But nor do I want to fight that where I was, so this is a case where I'll let it run away. Actually. Bad. And so far, I don't want to jinx it, but we've done pretty well in keeping the archers off our back. Like, I've seen them coming, but we haven't had to really fight them that often. Which I should probably get into a situation where I do, just so you can kind of see how to game the AI a bit. But those wolves won't... They don't have pack AI like the orcs, so they will just charge you down a corridor, so you kind of need to draw them out into the open unless you want to fight normally. Sigh. Okay. So here's a trick. I think you've seen this before on this channel, but I'm going to close this door so they don't flank me. So what I'm hoping is that they'll come out through this door, and I can play an AI trick on them. They might, depending on their AI, decide to flank me like this, so let's see what happens. I'm just passing turns right now. So I'm going to go up here. And now if you can pin them to the wall like this, they just basically wait to die. You kind of have to play around with where you need to go to get them out of their hidey hole, but I just messed it up here, clearly. The other handy thing about flanking, if they open the door like that and you see them going for it, you can move down to get a free hit on them. Okay, not so bad. These kinds of rooms are not great to fight in when you have this kind of light radius. I'm mostly just worried about like a purple mold being at the end of the hall. I'm going to switch to my axe. And this, I didn't want to go all the way out into the room just to get him at a good vantage point, so. So I have radius 1 light, so this could be something else, but just be careful in these things, because at this depth you get shadow molds. And if I walk there, and there's a shadow mold here, it's going to hurt a lot. Although I think if there was a shadow mold there, he wouldn't be visible. Yeah, probably not. But I'm going to move out a bit. Oh. Trolls are a little bit trickier because they're just angry people, so they will often move in ways you wouldn't expect. Is he fleeing? No. Oh, he thinks he's using the run away to the mouth of the room AI. This is bad. Come on, guys. It's better to have a Royal Rumble than it is to have a little duel in the hall. So this might take a while because I'm not quite as effective as I was when I had that great sword two-handed, but go. You may have noticed I really don't like letting things flee. It's just incredibly offensive to me. I think these little weird twisty things have treasures in the ends of the hall sometimes. I don't remember. I've told myself I'm not supposed to explore these because I often die, but I kind of can't help it. Okay, I'm just gonna run. Yeah, there's nothing here. That's kind of a bummer. Oh, okay. Nice. That's worth it. Throwing axes are pretty much my favorite throwing weapon, so... I think right now, though, keep an eye, when you're wearing a shield, as soon as you hit W in your inventory, as soon as you wield a two-handed weapon or your shovel, you're going to drop your shield. So it's always good to have this slot open. So at this point, that normal helm I can just ditch, because even if my current helm gets acid damaged, I can switch to the great helm. It's fine. It might be like a bad item. That's not fun. Let's go this way. Yeah, I just love my axe. These are... Centipedes are armored foes. Okay, so that was... I don't know if you saw that, but Worm just blinked. So I'm going to switch to this helmet to see if it is true sight. It is. Awesome. Okay, so this is a great find at this depth. It's not normal to find these so early. And when you get to 450 or 500 feet, Silroko are like an invisible demon thing that have really heavy protection, and it's good to be able to see them. So that's great. Are we close to Lorekeeper yet? Yep. Okay, so let's do it. Now we should get a pool of experience back because we had a bunch of consumables. This is something that doesn't map directly to the normal Sil, I guess. So maybe I shouldn't have done it this way. Maybe I should have just gone straight for Lore Mastery. But it's really not that much crazier. We need to pull like less than 2,000 more experience. And I may have taken Lorekeeper anyways, depending on what I had in my inventory, just to see if it was cursed or not, because that's what normal Sil Lorekeeper does. So we're kind of screwing with things here, but it's close enough. These Herbs of Terror, there's nobody coming. I'm just going to eat these for food. That Emptiness Herb we definitely don't want. Blindness potions we don't want. And that's it. Not bad. Okay, so let's just get to the end of this floor, and then we'll probably call it a game. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole floor, because it seems like a lot. It's kind of big, and we're doing okay for equipment, so... And we've got actually a pretty good stockpile of the Orcish liqueur, so that's handy. This is another one of those rooms I really hate with Radius 1 light, but... The other good thing, actually, about having all this extra crap in your inventory that you might just use in case you get acid damage, is that these thieves seem... I could be wrong, but they seem to preferentially try to steal your equipment. Which is... It's way better to lose that pair of boots than it is to lose, like, an actually good potion or something. Okay, so these guys drain strength. If it was on its own, I might fight it, but yeah, that was pretty dumb. My will is really low. I shouldn't be fighting these things right now, but I'm sort of addicted to the experience. And I want that... Okay, so I guess that's a thing. I'm going to try and grab this. And if they do drain me, at least I know I can restore it. But. Okay, I'm just going to leave that room alone, because I think that herb was bad, right? Yeah. So flanking also helps with those stat drainers, because you can sort of maneuver your way around them. So we have two options now. We could go for continuing to increase our stats, which would be good. That's probably what I want to do. The other thing we could do is we're at 300. Probably in 200 feet, light is going to be a major issue. But it's not right now. So I might continue boosting melee at least. and maybe aim for finesse, which would help us right now, but we need 1,000, and zone of control. The other thing I'll do though probably soon is go for inner light. So these are the two ways I would go. And again, I'm going to pull a bit of experience because so far we're doing okay despite the fact that we're not spending everything we have. And then if we need one or the other in a hurry, I may have forgotten that there's a dark monster or something that I don't remember about earlier than 500-ish, but really shadow spiders are the first ones where if you can't see them, it's just so terrible. Okay. What I just did there is like classic newbie thing that you don't want to do. So I'm moving too fast right now, and shadow molds, because you can't see them, this MPA Sil thing won't warn you that there's a mold there that you are stepping into, but normal Sil just won't do that at all. So I just took 3 hits. If you're an Edane or somebody with low con, 2 of those hits can kill you, so that was really dumb on my part. However, I do know he's in this square. So one thing I can do that often kills me, but what I'm going to do just for fun anyways, is if you get a big weapon, you can charge and kill these things fairly simply, like that. It takes 1 big damage hit. So I just like to do that for the experience. It's fairly safe with a high con elf. With anyone else, probably a bad idea, especially if there are bad guys around. And I'm sort of tempted to see what was in that room with all those archers. If they wake up and like come to kill me and there's nothing there, then I will just flee. Yeah, there's nothing there. How much experience are they worth right now? Yeah, 5. So they heard me, but I don't really care. I'm just going to get out of here. There's a downstairs to the right, I think. Oh, even closer. Awesome. All right. So that's that. So because of our will affinity, inner light is actually very cheap. We just need enough to get 5 points of will, and we're there. So I might just do it. Or not. I'll wait. Yeah, I'm not going to just spend experience for fun. Let's wait it out. Ooh. Yeah, daggers in MPA Sil, they've been talking about in core Sil changing daggers so that they are basically like short swords, except they don't have evasion. I'm going to avoid using them this game because this is not, well, okay, I think that's an artifact, so I don't want to say for sure that I'm going to avoid using it, but I think artifacts also auto ID in MPA Sil, so this is probably just a normal one. And I don't think it's cursed, because it's not abnormally... Are there vampiric daggers? Screw it, I'm just going to wield it, see what happens. Oh, cool. Actually, wow, these are pretty good now. So, daggers of accompaniment give you 2-weapon fighting. I don't want to do it with this build because I need armor. But how would that look? That's kind of neat. You get 2 attacks with flanking. I don't know if you get 2 attacks with flanking. Maybe we'll try it later. I'm going to hold on to that. But just so I don't forget, I'm going to switch to my normal thing. And we'll call it there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. 350 feet. This is, I think, Easterling archers are more or less inevitable at this point. Trolls will start to come more often, I think. Orc warriors definitely. I think orc captains and orc champions start to show up a lot more too. So this tends to get to the stage where you just get overrun by packs. There's just like a lot of pack monsters. If you get anything that's out of depth, it could be something really bad like a warg or something. So this is, usually people express frustration around this stage because it's such a weird mix of monsters and there's so many of them that you can start to feel overwhelmed. So the good thing about flanking is we can kind of take them out in the open, but it can get grindy depending on how many guys there are. And our stealth is 0, so we're probably going to be waking up the whole dungeon. Often, the thing to remember as like a 0 stealth guy is that when you come down the stairs, within the first 20, 30 turns of being on this level, everything's going to come to kill you. The noisier you are, the worse it is. So don't just like start wandering around thinking about, I'm going to go find stuff. Try to recognize where you are, where it could be like a tactical place to fight, and assume that you're going to have the whole dungeon breathing down your neck within 100 turns or so. That's it for now. We'll see you guys next time.